loves, welcome back. I'm excited to be with you guys today. We're going to be talking about rosacea and some other skin conditions and tips on how to deal with flare-ups, rashes, redness, rosacea, even eczema. And these are conditions that affect millions and millions of Americans. It's a mess, and worldwide, it's of course a much, much higher number. But the estimate in the United States is about 16 million for rosacea. And there aren't, the scientific community will say there isn't, one specific cause, one specific factor, but I do have my own theory on ways that we can alleviate rosacea and other skin conditions. I speak from someone that's had a lot of skin conditions myself. I've had rashes, I've had hives, I had really bad acne, and it wasn't until I started looking deeper for balance within my own system, within my own gut, that I was able to really get past these conditions, which can range from being painful, annoying, compromise our self-esteem, our confidence, our ability to look people in the eye. So I do think skin conditions are a really big thing that we need to pay attention to and not minimize. We also know our skin is our largest organ. So yes, it is an organ and it does reflect our inner state of equilibrium and balance. Everything from our gut microbiome, the quality of our blood, the quality of our circulation is really reflected in our skin. So it's something that gives us clues to our health and our well-being overall. Hi guys, starting to come in, Alaya and Carly. I hope you guys are having an amazing, what day is it? Amazing Tuesday so far. If it's Tuesday where you are in some parts of the world, it may be, maybe a different day yet, just depending where you guys are tuning in. But no matter where you are, I'm glad we're catching each other. Hi, Jennifer. So we're talking about rosacea. And first of all, I'll say that we know that there's certain things that will cause the actual flare-ups from occurring. There's known ones such as, of course, the sun and heat. So rosacea is, a redness, a tingling. It can be very, very red around your face. I know for myself, I do have some Asian blood, and when I would drink beer, in particular, certain alcohols, my face would get really, really flushed and really, really red. So we know alcohol can trigger it, heat can trigger it, certain makeups can also trigger it. There's certain ingredients that will create a reaction. Also certain foods. So pungent and sour foods like radishes and onions and garlic, and even citrus foods like oranges can cause the release of histamine, and that can also result in flare-ups. So it's a good idea if you are experiencing regularly experiencing rosacea to avoid super hot drinks like coffee and tea. You can drink closer to room temperature, and to avoid alcohol, which isn't always going to be realistic depending on your lifestyle, but just knowing and choosing wisely when you do want to drink and when you don't, because it is going to add to that. It's going to add to those flare-ups. So I think that's sort of on the surface of, things that we can avoid because it's causing the rosacea to actually trigger. But I always do believe there is a root cause. There's something deeper going on with our system, and our skin is going to reflect that. So when there's a lot of skin issues, and our skin is an eliminative organ, there's toxicity coming out through the skin, I do believe that there is an overall toxicity issue. So number one could be that our body is just overloaded with toxins, and that could come from many different forms. It can come from air pollution, it can come from indoor cleaning products, it can come from, skincare products that have petrochemicals and synthetics. It can come from pesticides in our food supply, just all kinds of things, trace medications, or heavy metals in the water supply. So there's lots of different forms of toxicity that can come into our system and overwhelm our organs, because our body's always naturally detoxifying. But number one is we just want to pay attention to how can we reduce toxic exposure in general. And this, once we start to really become aware. Awareness is like that light bulb that says, wow, there's actually some sources of toxicity I haven't perhaps paid attention to. There's certain things we can do right away. We can get a shower filter. I'm a huge, huge advocate for a shower filter. I know, I was traveling in Tulum a week and a half ago, and if I don't have a shower filter, my hair basically turns into one big dreadlock. There's all these heavy metals in the water, so I would just rather swim in the ocean and then wait till I get back basically to shampoo my hair. So I noticed a really, really huge difference. And if it's affecting my hair, we know that it's also being absorbed through your skin. It's also vapor from hot showers and the steam, and we're inhaling it. So it's getting into our body, and that's how a lot of toxicity actually enters. Water toxicity isn't just through what we drink, it's through our showers. So adding a shower filter is a really, really great thing to do. Getting a HEPA vacuum is a really great thing to do. This is a whole topic about cleaning our indoor air space that Tony and I covered on the podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's on Beauty Inside Out. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for tuning in. We're talking about rosacea and alleviating toxicity, which has a very visible effect on our skin, on our energy. But skin is such a great indicator for our internal equilibrium. Starting with physicality, starting with things like toxicity, but then it also goes deeper into our emotions, our mental, our spiritual well-being as well. So it goes really, really deep, and skin is a mirror, skin is a reflector. So we're talking about HEPA vacuum filters, shower filters, HEPA air filters are a really great idea. Bringing in certain plants that will help clean your air, making sure that you switch to natural cleaning products if you haven't already. I have a lot of DIY products or replacement for products, DIY for cleaning your mirror, glass cleaner rather, surface cleaner, so you can check those out. Roxy says, I have to take a lot of synthetic meds daily. How do I minimize the effects of this on my skin? Any foods or drinks specifically? So yes, there are cases, of course, where, we have to take medication, or, there's certain synthetics we're putting in our body. So I say we know that that's a source of synthetic, but everything else, Roxy, I'm talking about our environment, cleaning our space in general is something that we do have control over. Also, remember that meds have to be processed through our liver. So anything that we can do to really support our liver is going to be helpful. Compounds have some research on them, like milk thistle is said to be really great. You can get milk thistle tea. I'm a huge advocate, as many of you guys know, for lemon. Lemon is a really great liver supporting food. Really making sure that we're not overburning our liver by having excessive difficult to digest fats and fried fats and foods like that, which are going to burden our liver and make it more difficult for us to actually detoxify the medication. I'm always a big advocate for cilantro and spirulina are really great detoxifiers. Also, Tony and I are doing an upcoming podcast on silica. Silica is a mineral that helps with detoxification. We're finding that it's deficient in a lot of people that live in big cities because there is so much excessive pollution, and the silica is used in that detoxification process and starts to become depleted in the body. So some great silica foods are shiny vegetables and fruits. You can see silica is sort of that shiny mineral. So we see it in the skin of organic cucumbers and red peppers and carrots. Even grains like quinoa. I'm an advocate for gluten-free grains, but I am a grain eater. I'll say I love grains and I eat them. Brown rice, quinoa, I eat gluten-free wraps. And if you look at grains, there is that shiny surface to them. So they do have a good amount of silica. So that's a great mineral to also ingest as well. So we're talking about reducing toxicity in our environment, which will help reduce toxic load in our body, which will help reduce flare-ups long-term. Again, we're talking about long-term solutions for dealing with things like eczema and rosacea and acne. And all these imbalances in our skin mean that there's something that needs to be changed in our environment, in our lifestyle. So first of all, reducing the toxic load. And we do know choosing organic is a way to really reduce pesticide, fungicide exposure, which is very, adds a lot of toxicity in our system, and also becoming all plant-based or largely plant-based. You know, I like to say it's not all or nothing, but we do know that chemicals and fertilizers and a lot of the toxins bioaccumulate as you go up the food chain. So animal products are going to add a lot of toxicity into your system. And this is besides the discussion of, protein and, the amount of macronutrients we need. I don't want to go on a tangent. We get more than enough protein from plant foods, but I will say if we're speaking strictly about toxicity, if you're eating plant foods, you are going to have less toxicity in your system. And this is something that will affect you over the course of your life because this is cumulative. So if we want to have great skin, great energy, great vitality for the long term, we want to really minimize toxicity in our system. And so plant-based eating and plant-based foods is a really great way to cultivate that. Now, let's talk about gut health, one of my favorite topics. So I know this from personal experience from when I was super constipated, super bloated, gassy, just low energy. And again, this is when I had a lot of flare-ups, a lot of redness. I was at this time drinking a lot of alcohol. I was partying a lot, really bad acne. My flare-ups weren't just on my face though. They were also, I would get splotches all over my body. So for me, balancing my gut, and I'm a big advocate for SBO probiotics. I talk about this because I truly, from the bottom of my heart, believe in them. They're one of the only supplements that I take every day and that I encourage you to take every day because we're constantly being bombarded with toxicity and stress. Oh, stress is another big flare-up cause of rosacea. So if you're interested, you guys can go to KimberlySnyder.com and check out my SBO probiotics. They're ones I take and I recommend to all my clients. I think they're amazing because they put us back in tune with the harmony of nature. And the reason they put us in tune with the harmony of nature is because our ancestors, this is where they got their probiotics, from living in tunement with the earth and getting their fruits and vegetables right from the earth and eating some dirt. They ate dirt because they didn't have running water. And there is that perfect mix of bacterium that they would ingest. And back then, they didn't have the same rate of degenerative diseases. And we look at depictions, I was just at the King Tut exhibit here in LA, and it was amazing. Anyways, I just don't think they had the same amount of degenerative diseases, and they also didn't have the same amount of skin conditions. And I just believe that they were just living so much more in close connection with the earth. So for us to balance our microbiome, we want to take SBO probiotics. We want to, again, I'm still a stickler for a shower filter to make sure we're not getting all those heavy metals into our system through the vapor, through our skin, which deplete our balance in our system. Avoiding, of course, refined sugars and junk food. Finding ways to manage stress, which is a big one because there's stress all the time, I know, but taking breaks, trying not to schedule as much, meditating. Another big discussion, but there's lots and lots of ways to manage stress. Again, the refined foods, the fried foods, eating raw sauerkraut and fermented foods is also great for nourishing gut health. But fermented foods and kombucha and things are just temporary. They're transient probiotics. They're not the deep resident forming ones that you get from taking SBO probiotics. So they're helpful, but they're not the same depth and they're not the same help. So balancing gut health also entails just sleeping well. I think sleep is a really big cause of our adrenals. Not sleeping well is a big cause of our adrenals, just being overworked and stress building up. So I think everything really works really holistically. Nancy says, are you coming out with a skincare line? Yes, Nancy. It's like we planted this question, but we didn't. Actually, my skincare line, I'm very excited to say, it's coming out in the fall. I have some really exciting announcements for you guys in just a few weeks. Huge launch is happening, and skincare is one part of it. A lot of other parts of it. But I'm really excited to share something that has come from my passion of of lifestyle, which started with food. Started with skincare, actually. I love skincare. Started with food, being a nutritionist. But now there's just so much more to the lifestyles. I've gone deeper in myself. And this has also come from me understanding how to take care of myself food-wise, losing the weight, clearing up my acne, but realizing there's so much more to wellness. There's so much more to the lifestyle. We don't really feel fulfilled and really peaceful and really happy until we become really connected to ourselves and connected to the whole, because we're all connected. So first we connect to ourselves, and then we connect to the one. And that comes from spiritual, emotional balance, lifestyle. Sleep and skincare and food are tangible touch points throughout the day that keep us anchored. But there's a lot more to it. So there's so much more coming, you guys. And I am really, really excited. Sabrina says you should do a getaway vacation. Yes, retreats are going to be part of it, beauties. You just wait. There's so much coming. We're just about to give birth to this whole big offering for you in the world. So Natalie says, I remember you talk about a skincare product. So yes, it's coming. And I just want to support you guys. And we're all one. We're all on this journey together to support each other. And everything that I've ever been through, I've shared with you guys from. And again, those of you, some of us have been together a really long time. The Beauty Detox Solution came out in 2011, which is 7 years ago now. And that was, wellness wasn't what it is today. And so it keeps evolving. And so for me, my journey did start with food. I was very uncomfortable in my body. I was not happy with my skin. I wasn't happy with my weight. So that was my focus. And I had to get there first before I could go deeper. But once I did lose weight and my skin cleared up, I was like, oh, I'm still not there yet, because I wasn't fully peaceful. I wasn't fully feeling really happy with myself day to day. So then it just kept going deeper and deeper. And those of you can see the evolution of the books, starting with Beauty Detox Power, which started to talk about food cravings and the emotional part and chakras and energy centers. And then my last book with Deepak went into a lot about the lifestyle and spirituality and meditation and sleep. And it keeps going deeper, and I keep going into, it's like rocks I keep uncovering within myself. And as I've worked to heal myself, I share with you guys. And so there were a lot of rocks I've discovered, in the last few years around shame and, guilt and just a lot of self-doubt and a lot of self-judgment. And that has to be really healed, and we need to look at that part for us to really flourish. So there's a lot more. And when we, of course, start to take care of ourselves, when we start to share with one another, when we start to become more vulnerable and open up, healing happens. Healing can't really happen when we stuff things inside and pretend that they're not there. And I think that really does show up in our skin. I think when I had acne, yes, I was eating a lot of dairy. Yes, I was constipated. But besides that, I also had a lot of self-doubt and a lot of anxiety and just self-hatred. And I didn't really love myself. And that anxiety just comes out energetically. It comes out in different ways. It comes out in craving bad foods. It comes out in insomnia, and it comes out through our skin. So everything really is related, and there's so many different tools and pieces that we can take that really resonates with us, which parts resonate with us, and we can go down that pathway first. So it can be, we're talking about today the shower filter and the SBO probiotics, and you can go down that route if you're like, yes, I need to really learn a form of meditation that's relatable and accessible. I have free meditations for you guys. You can check them out if they're helpful on my website, KimberlySnyder.com, or there's so many other forms of meditation that you can explore. There's Kriya Yoga from Paramahansa Yogananda, and many, many other forms that may resonate with you. Finding ways to de-stress, finding ways through the day to take more breaks and to stand up and to get into the sunshine. Find ways to hang out with your friends that perhaps don't always have to involve alcohol. I'm not here to say everything has to be all or nothing, but I do know that for me, I feel good when I'm not hungover. And there may be times when I want to have alcohol, but there's times where I just want to be with friends. and I go for walks now. We go for tea, we go for hikes, hang out, just go in the yard. So there's just this evolution of the lifestyle that keeps happening. I don't think we ever fully get there, but we just keep evolving. It keeps going deeper and deeper, and we just feel good. More and more we feel good, and that starts to imbalance when we feel confused or frustrated or judgmental of ourselves. So it's just this evolution, and I'm just excited to keep sharing with you all as I keep going on my path as well. Yes, Natalie's been with me since 2012. That's amazing, Natalie, and I love you so much. Natalie is one of our beauties, one of our loves in New York. Marielle, yes, stay connected, you guys. If you aren't on the newsletter, please sign up or make sure you subscribe here, because I'll always be on here, but we're always giving new information about everything that we're launching through the newsletter. Also, I'm on Instagram at @_Kimberly Snyder, so you guys can, we can connect there, and the podcast. I'm so excited, you beauties. I'll say that today is a really monumental day. I'll share that my core team is all flying in about an hour. We are gathering here at my house. So now there's 7 people on my core team. Part of these big launches, which are coming in the next few weeks, which I can't wait to share with you. And then we have, other members of the team. It's grown quite a bit. I think we have, if we count Eric, our editor for the podcast, and, just different people, Nicole, Izzy, who's our customer service. If you count everybody, there's about 16 people in the family, and everybody's very embodied and loving and part of this mission, which is so much bigger than me. So you'll see when I announce this that this is really about greater sharing and for the community, and it has to move far beyond me, so we're taking things out of my name. I will say that as a little bit of a clue, but it's just to give and to serve more, which I really think is my purpose, and why I'm here is to serve you and to share, and for us to support each other and give love. So thank you so much for tuning in, beauties. I'm going to go prepare now. I got a lot to do. Bubby's taking a nap. I'm so happy we had this time together. I will see you back here very, very soon. And know that I love you and know how amazing you are. I'm just happy that our souls are connected, and we will see each other very soon. Lots of love.